Hi everyone, if you enjoy what I do, then I think you'd enjoy my short collection of short stories, available now on Amazon. Please make sure to subscribe and consider becoming a Patreon. Enjoy the video! Driven by the life force of all living things, the Pylons allow those attuned sufficiently to the world to travel across its surface at untold speeds, the power transforming them into a demigod in their own right, an emergent property of Terraria's unique evolution. The gift would be granted only to those with an exceptional bond to the planet, but anything that is natural and pure can be corrupted and used as weapons of war, all in the service of a cosmic conqueror without mercy or remorse. By the lizards long ago, however, the terrain can be extremely dangerous. Right, time to die. Across the universe, there are four constructs that are feared by all who lay eyes on them. Mighty structures that herald the end times, the subjugation and annihilation of entire worlds. For a form of cosmic mysticism, unknown to those who survive to tell it. Legions of horrifying creatures pour from these pillars, transported instantaneously from their own distant worlds. A tidal wave of death in the name of the moon. Unbeknown to those who fear them so, the pillars do not function on some type of magic, but the natural energy which weaves together worlds, binding together the very space they occupy. Only the pillars do not represent the pure expression of this power, but a twisted version of it, warped to fit the machinations of a lord who would desire to hold the whole of creation within his grasp. While every living world is theoretically capable of producing such things, it is Terraria where the ability to fold space is manifested in such physical terms as the Pylons. Crystals grown by the life force of every living thing around them, and bound to the environment they originated in. Blessed by the lifeblood of the gods, the creatures of Terraria held a special place within the cosmic tree of life, such to the point where their essence bound to the world itself, feeding the growth of the crystals within the very earth, until they became mature enough to erupt from the ground. To most who would find them, they were nothing more than obscure trinkets, unable to utilize the crystals for themselves, nothing but ornaments that could be sold for profit. For one with such mastery over the world, however, their purpose would be revealed. By ensuring the locating and contentment of sapient beings around a pylon, born of its placed environment, one would be able to power a crystal's space-folding capabilities, allowing it to connect to other pylons within the world, where they could then be used as doorways for instant transport across vast distances. Should a user grow so attuned to the world that they had uncovered all of its secrets, then they would even be able to utilize pylons unique amongst their kind, that were unbound from any biome, facilitating nothing less than total control over where they were capable of going. As powerful as they were, however, there were things that endangered the growth of the crystals. Fed by the life force of those native to the planet, the alien scourges of corruption and crimson were incapable of growing their own crystals, their spread and the life that dwelt within them, threatening the continued existence of the Pylons. Even the alien forms long held within Terraria's core could not contribute to the growth of their own crystal. Regardless, the Pylons were a unique power within the cosmos, and there would be those who would look upon them enviously. Having designs upon creating a fighting force like no other that had ever been, the Moon Lord wished to dominate four distinct worlds. While it was trivial for him to traverse the folds of space and time, it would not be so simple for his growing army. He needed a way to swiftly transport his entire force wherever he needed, deploying them as quickly as possible to take his victims off guard, and it would seem that these pylons were ideal. The fact that they would not function between planets did not trouble the Moon Lord, for his intellect dwarfed galaxies, and he was confident he would easily find a solution. During the quiet times before revealing himself to Terraria, the Moon Lord would task his planet-side clone to excavate and deliver him samples of these crystals. Of course, the crystals would become inert when moved off-world, but the Moon Lord would still meticulously dissect them, studying the effects when brought into contact with creatures native to Terraria, collecting more and more of them until he came to the conclusion that there was no reason they should not work off-world, providing there was a large enough concentration of them to mimic their homeworld, effectively create an artificial alien biome on a target planet. Unlike with the Crimson and Corruption, however, which had grown across Terraria, unbound from their original environments, the Moon Lord would transport crystal-laced fragments of his army's worlds with him, ensuring that once a gateway had formed, it would never be lost. Henceforth, on each world he conquered, he would plant the seeds of pylon crystals and sacrifice countless of the world's denizens to feed them, ensuring that their growth would be swift. Although the pylons grew quickly, they would also become warped with the suffering they were forced to consume. When the time came, the Moon Lord would tear a piece of the world away to carry with him, a piece that would become one of the 4 great celestial pillars. While these pillars struck fear into each of the worlds they descended to, they were far from indestructible, merely rock and dirt and the also vital crystals held loosely together, with a sustained attack potentially able to break it apart, scattering the pylons and closing the portal. In an effort to minimize the risk, the Moon Lord exerted his own power to create shields around them. Shields that none managed to breach. That was until they encountered the champion of Terraria, who would come to destroy the pillars, kill the Moon Lord, and end the threat of the armies once and for all. At least this was what was hoped for in reality, the worlds teeming with the Moon Lord's armies still existed, and all it would take would be for another to rip away fragments of their worlds in order to unleash the Horde again. In fact, the Moon Lord dreamt that a 5th pillar would join his ranks, bringing forth a force created in his own image. Given the incomparable power of an Elder God, it is not inconceivable to consider that one day his dream may become a reality, and his defeat at the hands of the champion did not prevent his ultimate victory, merely postponed it. Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked what you saw, then I think you'd like my short collection of short stories. Please consider liking the video, subscribing, sharing it with all your friends, and if you want to support me that bit more, become a Patreon. Links are all down in the description. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you next time.